Hey, welcome back to Reloading Journey. Today I want to talk about something that plagued me for about 2 weeks. Was driving me nuts with the Express. It was driving me nuts. It cost me money. We had a problem in a match because of it. I've had it apart cleaning it. The powder drop on it. I was having very inconsistent loads of powder. Was driving me nuts, and it really bugged me because I've always been very happy with the powder drops on them. This is the one that I was using. It's this Frankford Arsenal that I was using when I was using the impress and single press and loading each one. Was always super consistent, never had an issue with it. And it really bothered me because when I first started with this, I noticed it was super consistent. No problem at all. My loads were coming out very consistent, never had an issue. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like I was having anywhere from, 2,000s to, or 200ths of or two tenths. God. Load variance all the way down to almost a full grain. And I couldn't figure it out. I've had it apart, cleaned everything. Actually, this part here is actually the one that came on the press. This is the one that was here. I switched those out. Called Frankford Arsenal a couple times. They gave me a couple ideas. Couldn't figure it out. It was really bothering me. Like I said, in a match, we had some light loads. Wouldn't cycle the Glock. Even the Atlas had a couple rounds. It had trouble, cycling. It was really driving me nuts. Frankfurt Arsenal had a couple ideas, couple things, and nothing was working. Like I said, I must have had it off of the machine, completely torn apart, took the drum out of it, cleaned it, put it back on. When I had it off the machine, and I would just work it like this into the scale, it was consistent. Always consistent. I put it back on the machine, not consistent. It was baffling. Like I said, all the stuff inside, I've got these here in case you don't have any. These are perfect. They fit perfect whenever you take it apart. Down inside that powder drop in the die, this fits in there perfect. Cleaned it out. There was nothing in there, a little bit of residue, nothing that would hold grains back. It's not like I would have a light load, and then an extra heavy load, like stuff was getting backed up, and then it would all fall out at once. I would never have an issue to where it was overloading. It was always underloading. It was just driving me crazy. I'm going to put up some... So what I did was, I did up I went through 72 loads, where I'd put it in, cycle it, put it on the scale, measure it, pour it out, put it in, cycle it, and videoed the whole thing and documented every load weight. And that's what I'll show you now. And then I sent this to Frankfurt Arsenal along with the video of me doing it, where I had a camera on the dropper and a camera on the scales showing it. And what I came up with first, I'll show you where these numbers... And I had, my average load size was a 4.9. I was shooting for a 5.2. Average was a 4.9. I'd have a 5.2, 5.2, 5, 5, 5.2, 4.9, a 4.8. It went all the way down. I had one load that came out at a 4.4. 13% of them, 13.8% was at a 0.4 deviation, that much low. 7% of them were at a half a grain under. Out of 73. My biggest one was it was 0.8, almost a full grain undersized. And I just couldn't figure out why it was doing this. I went out and I shot the loads that, how do I get out of here? Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties here. Took the loads that we had used in that match, that we wound up having to borrow some ammo, buy some ammo off of somebody else to finish the match, because we just couldn't trust the ammo I'd reloaded. And I ran them through the chronograph, and you'll see I was coming out, 1074, 1107, 1050, and then a 934, and then an 1100, then a 964, 1046, 886, 960, another 9. I mean, out of 18 shots here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them way underpowered. So it was just driving me nuts. So I did up this video, and I'll kind of show you part of it now, that I sent to Frankford Arsenal, and their engineers over there know their shit, because he looked at this. I don't even think he watched very much of it. 4449. He was watching everything, and he came back and said, "You're going too fast. Coming down, you're going too fast. When the dropper, the powder dropper is hitting the case, it's going too fast." Made perfect sense. Once I thought about it, once I came over and looked at it, yeah, it makes perfect sense. You got to figure, whenever you're doing it here, you can go as fast as you want. It's still a smooth transition. It's a smooth start. It surprised me when I poured when I first got into this and first started, when I had that 8-pound jug of powder and I poured it in there, it shocked the hell out of me. It ran like water. There was no stickiness at all. All those grains were independent, and it really surprised me, and it makes sense, it has to be that way, but how light and airy that stuff was, and how it flowed like water in there. Well, if you were to come down here and go from here and up and hit it, and then on the machine, it's actually going metal to metal, that's causing a jump in there. I don't know, be cavitation or what you want to call it, but it's causing all those grains to kind of vibrate. Well, they wind up moving out, and then it moves out of there real quick. The pocket moves. Well, you just pushed a bunch of that out, shook a bunch of it out, and then you move, and it made perfect sense. What had happened? Because the machine, for the first few thousand rounds or a couple thousand, it was spot on. Never had an issue with it. All of a sudden, I started having this issue, and then, well, as I got more comfortable with the press, and I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. It looks like I'm not talking to you guys. I've got a window of me down below, and I'm watching myself, and not, I need to make eye contact with you guys more. I got to learn this more. I'm still new to this shit. Calm down. But as I got more comfortable with the machine, and I kind of knew how everything felt, I started going faster and faster and faster. And then, I'm not going for super speed, but I was comfortable with the machine, and I just started going faster. Well, I didn't realize that was causing an issue. It's like anything else. Every mechanical thing has a rhythm, has just a natural rhythm to it that it's going to work best at. It's just like, for you older guys like me, or the young guys listen to it may not understand, because they probably don't know how to drive a stick shift. But whenever you drove a stick shift, every car was different. Your timing was different. When I had my CDL, when I was learning, it was kind of double clutch. You go one gear, double clutch, and it was just timing thing, so that the synchros and everything line up to where you go right in the next gear. After a while, I got to where I didn't even use a clutch. I could, depending on the vehicle, if I got used to it, I just let out the gas at the right RPMs, and it'd fall right into the next gear and go. And if I tried rushing it, I'd be grinding gears. It wouldn't work. I had to work towards that truck's rhythm, that mechanical thing's rhythm. Same thing with this. It's going to have its own rhythm. Once you learn that rhythm, it'll be so much faster and so much more reliable once you learn your machine's rhythm. And it's going to take a few thousand rounds. I've done 500 rounds since this, and getting that rhythm down, kind of fast, slow down, let them touch, and then go on. You can go fast after that. It's just learning that rhythm. It's going to take some time, but after a while, it'll just become a habit. You won't even think about it and just go on. So I'm going to go ahead and move the cameras over, and I'm going to put a camera on the scale, and I'll kind of show you what kind of a difference we're looking at. And it really does make a lot of sense. Again, when you think about it logically, but when you're new to this stuff, there's so much to think about logically. Your logic doesn't always go to the right place at the right time. So, like I said, shout out to Frankford Arsenal and their engineers. He saw that video and was like, "You're just going too fast. You know, slow down when they hit." And he was spot on. So, shout out to them. Thanks for taking the time to look at my video and getting me that. And I'm gonna go ahead and move everything over here, and I'll show you it in real time. All right, I got the camera set up. I got one on the scale here. Got it zeroed out with the case we're gonna use. Okay, Butterfingers. And then I've got a camera over here on the dropper where you'll be able to see the arm. I'm gonna start off and just go kind of slow, exaggerate it, but go real slow. We'll get a baseline, just see the accuracy, see where we're at, and then we'll go from there. .1. 5.1. We'll do one more. .5.0, and I'm happy with that. I mean, we could be sitting at a 5.09, you know, and just that thousands puts us either way. But now I'm going to go ahead and re-zero it. There's one thing I've noticed with this scale, it's accurate only for a certain amount of time. If I try to do 10, 15, it'll start getting off. I'll put this on here, it'll be, you know, 0.3, -3 or something. I got to re-zero. So try to do 3 or 4, then re-zero it and just make sure that it's. So now we'll go faster. .8. Wow, 4.9. Yeah, 4.8. .7. I'm going to zero it, do it again, about that speed. .7. Now I'm going to go slow again. .1. Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense. It's something that I should have intuitively known it, but, you know, as you can see, and then it can get real crazy if you're getting annoyed and you're like, dang it, and you really come down and really throw it to it. 4.1, a whole grain off. So you don't necessarily have to go as slow as I was going. You're going to have to find what works for your machine, you know, how you have it set up, how your dies are, how you, there's a 5.2, how you work it, and just find what's comfortable for you and what works best for your machine. 5.1, you know, the dropper is very accurate. You'll find, I'm finding with the machine, it really is accurate. I mean, everything's going to work that way, though. You know, you're seating your primers. You know, if you're changing up your speed and how much pressure you put on it and how quick you're pulling off, they're going to be set different. Your bullet seating, you know, if you're not consistent and equal pressure and kind of equal timing, get that rhythm down, it's going to be off. You know, it's going to affect everything you do. The more I think about it, the more I understand how it works. And again, I'm new to this. So a lot of people out there might be going, yeah, dummy. Yeah, duh. Well, you know, like I said, I'm new to all this, and it's really a game changer as far as what I was doing one at a time. And a lot to learn. I just hope I can pass some of that, my pain and frustration I went through for 2 weeks to to you guys, and maybe somebody's just starting out and they just got it today, and they'll see that and go, oh, okay, I won't do that. I won't go through that mistake. So just take your time, learn the machine, and you're gonna love it. It really has. I haven't had, aside from, like that, and that was my fault and just not knowing what I was doing. It's been very accurate on everything else. I have no complaints so far, and I hope it keeps going that way, and I don't have any complaints after that. So in follow-up, just remember it has a rhythm. Learn your rhythm. Just be consistent with it, and it'll treat it right. It'll treat you right. All right. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Hopefully this helped someone out there, and I'll see you next time.